Hey, Howard.
Hi. Hey, guess what? I'm here with Mike Erickson, or someone you all on the internet might know better as Erickson.
Howdy.
Mike, how's it going?
It's going great.
Great. Anyway, we're just hanging out, and we've been jamming out on the Catalinbread Galileo here, and we hadn't really got together and jam on this with this pedal together before, and we just thought we would do that today. But I don't know. What do you think?
Dude, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is was originally inspired by Brian May of Queen Sound.
Yeah.
Because he played, usually like 3 AC30s, maybe more, but he always had in front of it a treble booster. And a Rangemaster Treble-booster, although he's had custom versions done. But it's a consistent, to this day, I mean, how long has he been playing for now? Like decades.
Yeah.
And
40 years.
And last time I looked at his rig, he's still using a treble booster into his AC30s. He hasn't changed that. In fact, what he does, because treble boosters, he's using a wireless system, and treble boosters don't work with wireless systems. Right. So he's so committed to the treble booster, he actually has it on his guitar strap before the wireless, so that the treble booster is seeing your guitar.
Pickups, yeah.
Yeah, so you get that response from it, and then it goes to wireless, and goes out to the other FX and amps and stuff. So he swears by it so much. Well, back in the old days, I mean, AC30 sounds pretty great on its own, but
yeah.
They were trying to up the bar and the distortion and volume and just the sustain.
Yeah.
And they didn't have high gain amps back then. They just they had these amps, and they were trying to push them harder, and a lot of the British guys end up discovering this Rangemaster thingy and pushing their ass with it into overdrive, and kind of inventing the modern high gain amp. It's this pedal, it's always on. He never turned it off. If he wanted clean sounds, he just turned his guitar down.
Yeah.
And but the Galileo, basically that's what we're doing with the Galileo. There's actually a treble booster, custom tuned treble booster in it, and we have the preamp section of an AC30 in there. Now we don't have tubes in there. We're using JFETs, and it's following this pretty much the same architecture as an AC30. So we're trying to, if it looks like it and smells like it, it's probably going to act and sound like it.
Yeah.
So that was the theory, and it seems to be proving itself.
Like running a treble booster in front of anything cranked up automatically just makes it feel better to play. It's really juicy. It adds a particular upper mid-range peak to it that just, like your neck pickup, never sounded better.
It's just so alive and exciting sounding.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I discovered him late, and just knowing then how that's a pedal that's designed to work within a system. The system being your hand, going to the pickup, going into the pedal, going into the amp. And you don't think about it anywhere beyond what you're doing with your pick or your guitar controls.
Well, it the good treble booster just melts into the amp.
Yeah. Sorry,
But we have two different rigs here. So I got a Princeton, reissue Princeton, and he's got an old Gibson Falcon there, and he's got a guitar he made, and I got this V here. But you hear that sound that's kind of common, even with the. It's got this dense mid-range, and it's like this almost a squawky kind of juicy thing on a
little minor cocktail flavor.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we got 3 controls on here.
Yes.
And,
why don't you describe them?
I could have put a whole bunch of controls here when I was working on it. In fact, I did. I had like every control that was on the amp, and all these extra controls for biasing and the booster and stuff. And I really wanted to come up with something that could give you that sound at the least amount of fuss.
When you're thinking about putting a knob on a pedal, it has to fight for its space to be there.
Yeah.
There's this distillation process that happens when you're designing stuff to where it's like, I could have that. No, you know what? The guitar volume handles that. We don't need that.
So on the prototyping phase on the breadboard, I've got all kinds of knobs. And it's a matter of, the goal really is, if I can end with a pedal with no knobs, that would be great. But you end up, some of them creep back in. It's like, no, you gotta have that one,
Right.
So in this case, you have to have a volume knob. That seems, we haven't really outlawed that yet. But then, so if you look at the controls, there's volume, gain, and tone. So it's pretty generic for dirt pedals.
Right.
But they could mean different things depending on the circuit. So, and I can talk about it a little bit. So the volume knob is your volume knob. It's at the end of the circuit. You can control your volume. Now the tone knob, the AC30 part of the circuit is fully rendered AC30 schematic. So you guys can, after this video, you can look up the AC30 schematic and look at it. And if you're really astute, you'll realize that part of it looks like a Bassman or a Marshall. In this is actually the tone stack as well.
Yeah.
Of the AC30.
It's just hard-coded.
It's hard-coded, yeah. Well, it's partially hard-coded.
Yeah.
The treble knob is the tone knob, because when it came down to it, that was the knob that allowed you to really dial in for any rig. And here's the range of it. You can hear it kind of sweeping. You can just find the exact point. The whole thing about this thing is it cuts through the mix really well. You can just get that treble just right, but it doesn't sound harsh or sharp to me. It's just the way the Rangemaster Treble-booster circuit and the AC30, the way they saturate.
Because you have so much control with your pick, my guitar volume is up full. The gain on this pedal is up at least a third. It's already a pretty hot pedal, but I can get a really fairly clean sound. What's cool is you can always hear the potential of the rock to come.
Which is the thing with big tube amps cranked.
Right.
But we're actually, maybe I'll measure the dB and we can post that on the YouTube afterwards. We're not really playing it loud. I mean,
no.
We got like 15 or so watt amps, and this is on 2. And we're not that very loud.
Our heads are right in front of these speakers.
But we can get that potential. You're talking about the cranked amp potential at a lower volume. So you can get pretty clean with it. And the gain control is actually controlling the gain of the booster section of the Rangemaster. The amp is basically turned up full, the way Brian May did it. He always just cranked the AC30s up, and you can do it with non-master volume amps like Marshalls or any of these kind of amps we have. The modern amps, with the channel switching and the master volumes are different, right? But anyway, so this controls the amount of boost that you're feeding into the already cranked amp. And I've been running mine at minimum gain, actually.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and turn it up here. You can hold it for me, just showing.
Thought process behind that basically is you set the thing and then you forget the thing, and you can do everything that you need to do right at the guitar.
Yeah.
And you start forgetting that what you're using is a pedal, and what you're doing is you're just playing your frickin' guitar, which is what you should be doing anyway, and not tap dancing.
And not talking about it on the internet.
Not talking about it
on the internet.
Don't talk.
Don't talk.
Just play.
Right. Having said that, let's talk a little bit more about it then.
Okay.
Okay.